or what is, for example, guy, yeah, sorry, and he's interning with L'Oreal as a corporate finance what?
Corporate finance intern.
Uh, and today we have Skanda PR. Sorry, I'm very sorry. Uh, I'm fucking this up. I'm sorry. Under the sun, under the sun, under the sun. Hi guys, thank you for clicking on the video. This is me, Kanesh Pandey, and this is the 10th episode of Strolling Wise Minds. Today we have Skanda PR. He's a current student in FMS Delhi, and he'll be interning with L'Oreal in the domain of corporate finance. So today I've got him to ask about a few things that you do after getting into MBA. Today we'll not be discussing about how to get into the college part. Today we'll be discussing about what do we do after we get into the college part, and should whether or not we get in the college. That's a basic question we don't ask all the time. So my first question to you, Skanda, is ki, there are a lot of people who actually do engineering or maybe graduations in various domains, and they're not sure about how MBA would suffice their career. Maybe MBA would bring their career into a full circle. Is this an actual reality, or is this a myth? Probably, ki, you need to necessarily have an MBA, or otherwise your career goes into a saturated state after a certain point of time if you don't have only the graduation degree. So how do you explain this? Over to you.
Uh, so so this is a myth basically. I don't. This is subjective. So people with engineering background, they perform really well sometimes. So MBA is not a necessary, I would say, for go having a stellar career. But what MBA does is it does prepare you. There are a lot of opportunities for you to enhance your learnings and prepare yourself for the corporate world. So that is where MBA comes in, and those skills are probably necessary for a manager to take ahead in his career and use that to further the managerial skills that he needs.
Okay. So yeah, that's an amazing response to that question. But my next question is that people preparing for CAT are either working professionals or maybe finally students in college. So both of these domains and both of these sets don't necessarily focus upon what do we do after MBA or maybe after college, or what is, for example, a guy working for Amazon or maybe working for Infosys in for an IT role. Would not be thinking what an Amazon guy would be doing in what a category manager would be doing in Amazon. He might not be thinking those things. He might be thinking about what is the CAT syllabus, how do we crack the GDPI, how do we get into the college. So how important do you think, or maybe how non-important do you think, is it for the aspirants to actually know what how MBA is going to mold their career up? So yeah, over to you.
So I think knowing what's ahead to come is an advantage, certainly an advantage. But from my experience, like even I don't think I had too much of an idea when I got in here. That's where there is most of the MBA we talk about peer learning and learning from our peers. So that is the main thing that comes into MBA. Your seniors, they have gone through the process. They take the time out in the first few months to prepare you, to put you into that specific arena. So being prepared is of course a good thing. But firstly, all this, if you start preparing too much for your let's say placement and not clear your GDPI, so I think firstly focus on your GDPI, then in the free time that you have, definitely work on your skills.
So that's a fair response to that question. But there's a lot of hopes for working for big MNCs these days. Since I gave the example, and statistically proven that if an engineer in India is giving an example of an MNC, he'll probably be quoting Amazon in that sentence. So this trend of working with MNCs in India, which is recently brought up, like if we talk about the IT sector, we've got FANG, similarly in the management sector, we've got like Boston Consulting Group and all the top MNCs. So how different is it for working for like startups and maybe MNCs in a managerial role? So yeah, over to you.
So I'd like to quote one of the Inside IM videos. So Saurabh Sengupta had featured in that. So he talks about this extensively. So he firstly joined Zomato in its early stages, And as a sales and marketing intern, he had a lot of experience. He got a hands-on experience speaking to on ground technical staff also. So that is one thing. Like in an MNC, you don't get that kind of exposure. You have many different hierarchies. So you're not directly responsible or talking with the CEO, let's say. But in a startup, that is where that exact thing comes into picture. You would be directly responsible and in communication with the CEO. You will also be talking to the lowest tier, maybe something like the Zomato. So you would be talking to the delivery agents also. So I'd say that both are different kinds of learning experiences. In a startup, maybe you'd be learning more on how to handle a business, how to run them overall, what are the nitty gritties that go into building a business. So it's not just your niche that you're selected. And let's say if you're working for finance or marketing, you're not just learning that, you're also learning other fields. So that is one thing. And one thing that you expect in a startup is that the hours are going to be long. So brace yourself for that.
Of course, of course. That was the question. That how is that what you answered is the question. How is the work culture in both these companies, and what is the level of hierarchy that you operate in? My question was, how different is working for a hierarchical based system? Maybe it has a few. It has a lot of. There are a lot of hands working for you, right? So if you need a very small thing, you have a whole department for it. But in startups, you have to figure everything on your own. Maybe it's better for the learning part, but if we're talking about a rapid growth in career, so what is a good option, startups or MNCs?
So this is very subjective again. So if you see a startup, there are many opportunities, and even if you see just like the remuneration that you get, there are most of the MNCs. They strictly offer a fixed and variable pay sort of. Those are the remuneration. But if you see a startup, they give like stock options. So growth in monetary wise is also different. And the work culture is, of course, the hours are going to be long. You're going to be directly reporting to the CEO. So there is more accountability to be held there. Whereas in a MNC, there are strict defined procedures. There is a waterfall that you will be reporting to this exact manager, and you are responsible for this work. You don't have to necessarily speak to someone. If I'm interning in finance, I don't necessarily have to speak to a marketing department. But in a startup, that is not necessarily the case.
Yeah, fine. That's very good, and that's probably the end of my streak of questions that I was firing. But I'll come to the most generic question since I've got you from FMS. FMS considered to be the most ROI friendly college in India. So how difficult, or maybe how easy, or maybe what is the right time for preparing to start preparing for CAT? Final year, maybe the first year of your job, maybe second year of your job, or maybe just waiting for 4 year, taking a 4 year sabbatical from studies and directly going for a US MBA after 4 years. What is probably the most? I want to ask, what's your personal opinion? I know it's very subjective, but what's your personal opinion on that?
So for me, personally, I felt that studying and doing preparing for CAT was easier because you're already in that phase that you are studying for your exams, and you have that academic rigor built into you. So it's not really hard when you're in that zone. It's just CAT is an addition to that. And most engineers are free. I mean, let's not kid ourselves, because we know that no matter how we want to portray ourselves, because I think so that is one good thing. So it is easier as a fresher. Once you start working, you have certain responsibilities, and maybe you'll have to, and there is travel, all those things come into picture. So I think personally freshers are better suited for preparing for CAT.
Yeah, fine. I also guess that probably what we do after 12th is we directly learn after the CTC. Like engineering is maybe probably the highest paying job, and probably the highest paying conventional job in India. Similar is the MBA, the management roles. So is it okay for a third year student to abandon his studies or probably just go for CAT because of the MBA, probably the job security part of it, or maybe he should approach things in a much lighter basis? So what is your take on that for a third year student?
So I see. So the first thing is I don't think anyone should just target the CTC and join a course, because CTC is of course an additional, everyone wants that, but definitely the learnings that MBA has to offer are much more important, and it honestly, for me at least, from a personal standpoint, the growth that I've had as a person has been tremendous over the 1 year that I've been part of FMS. So that is the thing that they firstly have to keep in mind. And when you speak about job security, I mean, again, it's dependent, because as a engineer also you can get that job security. Some of the jobs are pretty like IT jobs are known to be more stable. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. My next so there's a very important question I had, that what amount of backlash do you face in front of the interview panel of the B schools when you go as a fresher, probably you go as a working professional. So what is the amount of backlash? What is their primary adherence, like to take you or to reject you? Like what is, you get a gist of the interview, right? So what is it like?
Mostly I felt like they're just looking for the reason. So firstly, your most of the interviews start with a tell me about yourself or why you're interested in an MBA. So that has to be clear. I wouldn't go for someone who is not clear on the idea and just is there for the CTC, that from an engineer I can earn more. So that is one thing that everyone has to be clear about. So that was something that was a general gist that I got when I spoke to my friends and compared my interviews. So I did a few courses on finance, and I had done few internships on finance also. So it helped me when those were talking points. So they had an idea that even though he's a fresher without much experience, professional work experience in finance, that I do have a learning enthusiasm towards that subject. So that was the general take of professors.
Okay, fine. That's pretty much the end of all my questions. So, since my majority of my audience is actually third year or maybe second year students from all sorts of colleges, so my question, not a question, what's your one sentence, maybe a 2 sentence reminder, not a reminder, just a roadmap for every third year student. What maybe just wanting to do something good in life. So, what's your primary note to them?
So most of the third years, at least the ones I know, are pretty much confused. So I'd say that just take a moment, stop, and just see what path you want to take. Doesn't have to be the conventional one. Uh, just take a moment, stop, see where your passions lie, and if possible, if you're lucky, uh, get started on that as soon as possible.
Of course, sir. So that's pretty much the end of the podcast. Not literally podcast. I just wanted to record your incidents and your take on different things as an MBA. So yeah, what was your experience with that? And could you please share that with us?
Yeah, it was a new experience. So I haven't really done any podcast or recording of my experiences. So whatever I've learned over the 1 year that I've been part of FMS, it was great sharing that and helping maybe the future batches to come. So
Yeah, that's
it's
pretty
a great
much the
experience.
motive of this channel, is keep helping students with all possible prospects and domains. So yeah, sir, thank you for lending your time to us, and thank you for sitting with us. So I'll probably end this podcast now. Thank you.
And no, why don't you turn me upside down? And no, why don't you hide me in the river upside down? That I'm hiding and fighting alone under the sun.